All right. So what's up, folks? Today is August the 20th, 2024. I didn't do much trading today. Had to renew my license, so I was running around town doing that. And my daughter was home with me, so I got a chance to kind of hang out with her. We went and test drove a Tesla. Oh, that was exciting. We met a cool guy there. He was telling us about his Tesla. He said he's a programmer, he programs with Linux and that kind of thing. And then there's another really cool guy that I ran into on the TradeStation forums. I'll talk about him another day, but he gave me some good advice in terms of programming and trading and that kind of thing. So I'll do that video probably tomorrow. But the Tesla, yeah. So we test drove a Model Y, and it had the self-driving capability on that thing. Woo wee! And of course, it had the door. This had the dual motor, so it was very fast, very very smooth, very the comfort of the ride, the seats, everything. I mean, I'm not advocating for Tesla one bit, but the self-driving capability, even driving through town. Of course, I was guarding with my foot over the brake, hands over the steering wheel, and that kind of thing. But you can put in the destination for your navigation, and once you click the button for self-drive, it'll drive through. Now, this is on a clear day. This is on, the city wasn't too busy or anything. I mean, it was busy enough, but it wasn't too busy. Nobody running across the street or anything like that. Although, while we were riding down the side of the road, we did see, there was a gentleman walking, and the cameras picked that up. But yeah, I was surprised driving behind the one gentleman at the intersection. He stopped at the intersection first. We stopped behind him. Well, the car stopped behind him. And then as the light turned green, he went. Now, I'm curious, though, like, what if that person was to take off and it was a red light? Would the vehicle be paying more attention to the light color than it does to the vehicle in front of it? I'm curious about those kind of things. But so it took off behind the vehicle in front and made the left-hand turn. There were cars coming the opposing way. They were also making a left-hand turn. So, I mean, it did the perfect transition. I mean, it was very cool. And like I said, as we were approaching back to the Tesla dealership, there was a guy hanging out there. He was waiting on getting his Tesla service, and as I was pulling by him, he said, "Man, go ahead and get it, man." He said, "I got one." He said, "I love it. It's got good range, yada yada." And I said, I'm telling him about the features I just experienced, and he said, "Yeah, well, it's all in the programming and everything like that." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm in the programming, like I'm trying to program with the market and everything, though." He said, "Yeah, I'm in the programming too. I'm a programmer." I said, "Cool." So we exchanged information, and yeah, man. So programming, I mean, Anyway, I know there will be those who are averse to, the technological gains and and science and tech. I get it. I mean, it can be scary for sure, but again, there's a certain component of us programming the program, So the Tesla is a program. It's AI, you could say, but it's not. It got its program from somewhere. So I don't know, but that's a whole other topic. Maybe that'll be something cool to talk about, but that's a whole other topic. So anyway, so today what we're going to do, there was a guy in Discord, Z-Rip. He was asking about, I think there's a gentleman named Schwager. He's got he's done a lot with trading, and I believe that he created some indicators, at least 3 or 4, but I think that they were exclusively maybe used on TradingView or something like that. But the math behind the indicators he put in one of his books or some literature, and so I'm just going to kind of replicate that specific. I'm going to replicate that indicator. So we'll see what we get. Again, I'm not going to go through and optimize to find out everything, all the best inputs for this thing, but I'm just going to put it together. So here goes. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. So this is the Apple chart, and what we're going to do is we're going to do this on the daily time frame. The gentleman, he was looking for, well, at least the literature was saying the daily time frame. Of course, you can put it on any time frame, but so we'll put it on the daily time frame because that's what we're referencing. Now, I will come back to this. Hopefully, the only reason why I'm going to go over it now is because if I close off this, or if the computer does a reset and I change the parameters on this thing, I may lose it altogether. But what I did for one of my camo, I might not be able to show it. Here we go. One of the indicators that I was working on here recently, it was looking promising, but then I had a bit of a drawdown, and I was talking to one of the other like senior programmers on TradeStation on the forums, and he was just saying, yeah, I mean, doesn't look bad, that kind of thing. But again, you do want to be very conscientious of your amount of drawdown. So I didn't know that this is I didn't feel like this is necessarily a strategy that I wanted to keep forever, and I just kind of keep modifying and look at the filters and that kind of thing. But I did decide to go a step further into it and look at the filters. This is what I came up with. So this is on the 1 minute time frame. This is looking back from August 20th all the way back to May the 27th, and this is a performance graph. So that thing looks beautiful, if I may say so myself. This is performance report. Okay, so on one contract, trading one contract for ES at a time, it'll make about what $5,000 over the course of those 3 months, and that's not shabby at all. Percent profitable, 80%, 25 trades. So over 3 months, what is that? 20 trading days, 60 trading days. Does it say on here how many trading days? Doesn't say how many trading days. But it does tell me the range of time that I go over. But yeah. So anyway, I think that this did pretty good. Okay, I think it did pretty good. But again, this is one of my most complex scripts. So as I'm getting stronger at programming, I'm less wary of making a complex script. So the more that I practice, the more that I do, the easier it is for me to just say, hey, let me just try this. And even if it's, might not be the most complex thing that I can do, I'm at least willing to do something medium intensity because it doesn't take that much effort as it used to, right? So, like I said, I can go over this another time, but I will tell you one of the things that I did that was really helpful for me was that when I look at this optimization report, I'm going to show you one thing that I did with it. You see the trades list here? The trades list says buy one, buy two, buy one, buy two. Now for this specific strategy, I think it's 4 different conditions in which you can take a position. And again, this is a strategy that I put together on the live, and it's on YouTube. So you can go and look it up, and like I said, you can change some of the parameters and that kind of thing, and you'd have this exact same script. It's the exact same script with a few adjustments, primarily on entries, exits, and that kind of thing. But like I said, with those 4 different criteria of entering, I just said enter. Now I went back and I modified the script to say, okay, if you enter on like that first condition, it'd be buy one. If you enter on, well, the first condition was a inside bar, it would be buy 0. Second condition was an outside bar, it'd be buy 1. Third condition would be buy 2, it was a higher high, higher low. And then the fourth condition was buy 3, lower high, lower low. And you see, if you look through all these, you see that I ended up taking everything out. Well, the lower low, lower high, lower low was already out out the gate because it was a poor performer. So I had the other three conditions going, and then just kind of looking at the curve, I had my worst drawdown from condition 1. And condition 1 was by 0, and that was the inside bar, right? So when you get that, whatever the condition was, the strategy was, when that next bar, and I think it was as the chart moves up and comes back down to a potential area of a retest, essentially a retest, retesting that low, breaks through that low, and then you get an inside bar. That specific entry there was not as strong as higher by 1 is outside bar and higher high, higher low. So if you can use that at all, you use what I'm telling you, okay? And I mean, again, I'm not and I've got to redo all of my videos, my introductory video and everything like that. I got to make sure that I put on there that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional financial anything. I'm just Eric. I've done okay for myself, and I'm just trying to make programming. It's as fun as programming is for me. I'm trying to. I would like for it to be profitable as well. And if it's not, I'm okay with that. But if it is, then I'm more than okay with that. So let's go on to the script that we were looking at for today. So here's Apple here. So essentially, what this Schwager indicator was looking at was if you have a spike, right? In ZRIP, he was calling it specifically a spike indicator. So essentially, when you have some type of higher move here, if you have a high top and tail, or if you have a high higher than so many bars before it, or if there were three criteria. So let me look up those, and I will get right back to you. Okay, so here we go. We've got let's open up our development environment. Let's bring it over here. All right, so we're going to open up something that's called, we'll call it Discord ZRIP. It's going to be similar. And again, I've already done this, but I'm going to do it for you guys, and just going to do it from scratch because again, that's practice for me, and hopefully I say something or I go through a process that one of you guys says, "Oh man, I needed to know that." But anyway, so essentially what we're having is we're looking for a script where the indicator where all these three conditions are true. The first condition is where h of t minus the max of h of t minus 1 and h of t plus 1 is greater than k times ADTR to the 10th, or subscript 10, which is just essentially saying that the high of today minus the maximum of the day before it or the day after it is greater than some multiplier k times the average daily trading range of how many ever days. Okay, so that's not tough to put together. It just requires some coding. So I do think that I did use EL system because I did something with color earlier. I know I used the input variable. Not sure what I used with variables, but so we're going to do the high of today. And again, we're looking for the spikes. So and with this one, the spike has to happen. We got to be able to assess a day before and a day after. So the spike can't happen on today. Can't show up today. At earliest, it'll show up yesterday, right? So the high of today or the high of that day. Okay, so we're going to say that we're going to call it condition 1. And we're going to say it's equal to the high day. got to close some of these things off, otherwise it won't let us proceed with our autocomplete. Okay, so the high of day of, so not today, but yesterday. So the high of day of 1 day ago is less or minus the maximum. So we do max list of what? The day before it and the day after it. The day before it would be high day of 2, and that one after it will be high day of 0. Okay, and that's got to be greater than some multiplier k, so we'll call it multiplier times, and we'll just make sure that we don't have any issues with the order of operations, times average daily trading range of 10 or of some other length of bars. So average true range of, we'll say, condition 1 length. 1 length. Okay, and we got to close that. Okay, come over here, and I'm trying to do better about, like I said, make sure my scripts are much more clean, since I'm really moving into the area where I got some things working that I could truly automate, and that I'd want to be able to come back to and say, oh, I could make this script a little bit better by modifying this. Well, if it's so, if the variables don't make sense, and if everything is so out of place and unorganized that you can't read it, it's like reading a book, right? Reading script. So if you can't make sense of it, then it's hard to understand what the story is. So let's do an input, and the first input is going to be, what do we say, the multiplier. And so typically I just, well, first of all, I just say the multiplier would be MULT. I wouldn't even write it out. Multiplier is going to start off, well, what did they have? Did they have anything specific? No, we'll just put 2. And then after you put 2, you can do data, okay, what is it? Tooltip and display name. I'm just trying to remember, because like I said, I typically don't do this, but I'm trying to do better. Okay, so display name is going to be multiplier, and the tooltip, I think you do it this way without any errors. Tooltip will be multiplier for condition 1. Okay, and then we'll end that on a bracket, and then our next one will be condition 1 length, and we're going to start that off. They just got 10 there, and this is out of, I guess, his book or something like that. So this will be display name length of condition 1, no, condition 1 length, and then the tooltip, I think it's equals, it's not a colon. Tooltip, you know what, I'm not sure now, I think it's equals. Tooltip will be length of average true range. Okay, close the brackets, and that, and this is equals, and this is equals. Okay, all right, so that's our 2 inputs for right now. That's condition 1. So that first variable is condition 1. Going to start off at false. This is an underline. We're going to have 4 conditions. We did have 3 conditions when I did this before, but because I don't want to say I didn't realize, but I didn't have the final condition is that all conditions are true. That's the final boss. Final boss. Okay, so condition 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Condition 2. All right, so the second condition is that the high of t, the high of the day, is the high of t minus the close of that day is greater than 3 times the close minus the low, same day, right? So that's easy. The high of day of that specific day, so we can just say of that 0 minus close of that day, close day 0 is greater than 3 times close of day of 0 minus low day of 0. Okay, put some parentheses on here. Okay, that's condition 2. All right, condition 3. Oh, what'd you do? I think I hit F3 to verify instead. All right, so the third one is going to be that the high of that specific day is greater than the maximum high during the past n days, where n is a constant that must be defined. All right, so we're looking back n number of days, and we want to say that the high of that specific day is higher than all the past days. So essentially, you're just saying that you have the highest high over a number of days. And I think that there was a actual function that does that. But I guess, I wrote a method to do it, but I feel like there was an actual function that did it. Because I think you can do it with an array. You can do it with the number stored in the array, but I don't want to. Well, I guess I could. If I know what n is, I could have an array that size and do max list array. Now, I haven't done arrays in a long time, so I'll tell you what. Bear with me. I'm gonna knock this out real quick, and I'll come right back to you. How about that? I changed my mind. I don't want to use an array. Only because when I put the information to an array, then I'll have to use some type of count, and I have to take the data that maybe that's not that hard to do. Because you have to take what's in the array's current index, move it to the array after, and then put your new value in the current array. Only because I haven't done it, I want to do it. Like I said, I won't often walk away from a challenge. Not when I know I can do it. It's just a matter of doing it. So let's try it. We're going to say array is going to be A. We'll say A high, and then we'll do that. We'll start off with 50 spots, and then we will initialize them at 0. And then every time we have a high, so how are we going to have to do this? A high of some integer, some index, will be equal to the high of day of that day. All right. Now, before we assign that, we have to, and again, we're really kind of going through and doing multiple things like you would do with a function, or a method, which would have just been way easier to just do the method. I'm going to do it both ways, just so you can see how to do it both ways. All right, so A high is going to be equal to, so first we need to take whatever's in the index and move it up 1. So, no, I don't like this. We have to take whatever's in every index and move it up 1. So we'd have to we need to use a method anyway. Yep. We would. So I'm not going to do that. I mean, I don't mind doing something if it's in the pursuit of being more efficient or doing something better, but I'm not going to work backwards. Okay, so again, what we're doing is we're looking for the maximum high over the last n number of days. So we need to go ahead and set ourselves up with a method. All right, method void max high. We'll do that. We'll do begin, and we'll probably need to get ourselves set up with a integer or index to do some, or it'd be more like a count. We're going to take whatever number of days. So we're going to put a number of days in here, and that'll be bars ago that we're going to look. So, and then we'll say something called a double because it's going to be the high, max high, max. We'll say that max is going to be equal to the max list. So the max between two numbers. So the first number is going to be whatever's in the whatever's the current high, or whatever's the so the high day of what bar. I want to show you. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to tell you why it's wrong. All right. So the high of day of 0 versus max. Okay. So the max is going to start off initially being 0. So you're going to be comparing max to the high of day of the current day, and then you're going to return whichever one is higher, which it should be this because this is 0. Whichever is higher will be assigned to max. And then you go to the next iteration, and then you'll do that. Now, how do you get to the next iteration? You will use for IDX equals 0 to go from 0 all the way up to bars ago, which would be, that's how many bars ago you're going to go to. Yes, and because this is not a vector or anything with an index of 0, we just go to bars ago. We don't put -1 or anything like that. Now, the only thing is like I said, this third criteria says that the high of that day of interest is greater than the maximum high during the past n number of days. Well, if it's greater than the maximum, I mean, it could be greater than or equal to, right? Because you want it to be the highest high over the last number of days. So, let's do this. So we'll get our, let's make sure we have a begin and end here first before we go too much further. Begin and then end. And then what are we going to return? We're going to return max. All right. Now the max should be, the current high of day should be equal to the max. Let's put it that way. All right. So high of day of that bar of interest should be equal to max high. Max high of what? Because you have to put a number in there. What number do we want to put in here? We want to look how many bars ago. We're going to look, well, I think they had on there 50, but of course you want to change this. We'll put length of condition 3. Okay, so that's going to be input. All right. My typing skills are okay. They're not perfect, but I don't need to type everything over. So we're just going to put that is length of condition 3. Like I said, they have 50 there. I don't know that 50 is the right number, but it is what it is. Condition 3 length bar range for max of condition 3. Okay, so that's our method there, and it's not a void. Now we're returning a double. Okay, so method returning a double, name of this max high. We have an initial input variable bars ago, which is here, bars ago. It's an integer. Also, we have an integer of index, and then double max will be returned. Okay, and then begin for IDX equals 0 to bars ago. You want to begin this, and then max is going to be max list for high day. Yep. Okay. All right. So let's get a semicolon there. All right, and then verify it. Semicolon there, and semicolon, semicolon, semicolon. All right, another parentheses. Is that right? Got one there. Got one there. And then one for max list. Multiplier, what do you not like? Max list. Here, 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 here. I'm sure there's something here that I did, so I probably have too many parentheses. Got one open, two open, three open, one close. One open, two open, three open, one close, two close, three close. That other parentheses need to be right there. Okay. Now what are you talking about? Hive day. All right. So instead of you, yeah, and that's one of the things I've come to realize again, that these methods here, unless I'm wrong, and somebody definitely put it in the comments, because I'm sure I probably am, but these functions don't like to be called within methods, right? So instead of making this a one of these functions, this hive day function, we're just going to make it a regular high, and then we'll use the bars ago bracket, and that needs not be 0, that needs be IDX. Needs be. Verify that, no issues there. So this is called Discord zrip. Let's open up Discord zrip, and we're gonna do. I did something else on the script that I sent for him. I might as well do that here. All right, so we're gonna essentially have. So we have 3 different conditions, and this is the kind of stuff that I started doing on my new strategies that I'm putting together. All right, so we have 3 different conditions. We want to plot 3 different colors, right? So let's say if condition, come on, I'm falling apart. Condition 1 or condition 2 or condition 3, then plot point. I don't know. Plot point. All right, so plot point is going to be a method as well. Come over here. This will be a void method, void plot point that began end, and then we'll say we'll use a case switch here. So again, man, once I learn something, I get a little bit good with it. I just go at it. You know, I go at it. All right, so we got to begin, end, and then we have our multiple cases. Okay, so case switch, you want to put in the case what you want to be switched by the case down here. So whatever your cases are, it has to match this. So you could put a variable here or a number here. I'm just going to put true, because I want whatever happens, whatever condition is true, I want it to show up here. Okay. Now this won't work with that last condition, and I'll tell you why. Case 1, condition 1. All right.
Sentiment growing.
This is just saying that the case 1 is that condition 1 is true. So if that's true and this is true, then they equal. If they equal, then you're going to do what you do. And what do? You are going to, actually this will work. What are you going to do? You're going to plot, we'll have 4 different plots. We'll plot 1 will be low, condition 1, we'll make it blue, case condition 2, plot 2, low, condition 2, red, case, condition, finger got up too high there, low, condition 3, black. All right, now verify that, no issues. Okay, so we're gonna come over here, we're gonna do Discord zrip. This is a indicator. Come on now. I thought it was an indicator. Discord zrip. It's a show me. I did it as a show me. Okay. Well, that's what I was on. Okay, there it is. That's the one. That's the new one that we're doing just now. Okay. All right. So these are the places where you're getting those spikes at. All right. So these are the places where you're getting the. You see where you're getting the reds at. The red is the second condition. The blue is the first condition, and the black is the third condition. Okay. So I think the black one is the one where you're getting the higher highs. The high is higher than so many bars before it. So you're getting the blacks show up when you're getting new highs, right? You're getting the reds show up when you're getting condition 2, which was, I don't know, what was condition 2? Condition 2 was essentially that you have the high minus the close is greater than 3 times that of the close minus the low. Okay, so high minus the close minus the low. So like the top part of the bar is much thicker than the bottom part of the bar. Or especially if it's a bearish candle, close and low. Yeah, if it's a bearish candle, it's going to be easy to get that to get red to fire off. Especially if you have a high top part. Okay, so the high minus close, yeah. All right, and then the first one is, yeah. All right, so now the fourth condition. Now this is why I initially said that this probably wouldn't work. All right, because the fourth condition is, hang on.
Sentiment growing.
Chatting with zrip now. He's we're talking about the script on Discord. All right, so that fourth condition, what you want to do is with the event of case switch, when it gets to the first one, it's going to when it gets to the first one that's true, it's going to go ahead and execute, and then it won't do the rest of them, as I understand, right? It'll stop at the first one that's true. Okay, so, and we can kind of prove that by just having another one that just says default. So if nothing else is true and it comes down to the very bottom, then it just either exit A or default. We'll plot 4 and we'll plot low of black. So if none of these other things are true, then, well, not black. Let's do green. None of these other things are true, then on these bars here, because these other 3 weren't true, is going to plot green, right? Well, if I do it right, Oh. Well, it can't plot on any of these bars. Why? Because condition 1 or 2 or 3 had to already be met. It's not met on any one of these bars, so it won't show up there. All right, so on any one of these bars where the function actually goes into this method, you already know that it's going to be condition 1, 2, or 3 being met, so it never makes it down here. However, if you don't have this right here and you just simply do plot point, and essentially you're going to plot point on every single bar, then those greens are going to pop up on places where the rest of condition 1, 2, or 3 aren't met. Now, if you don't have this default, I think it doesn't like it. No, it didn't mind. It didn't mind. So if none of these are true, then it'll just exit out of the case switch without plotting anything. All right, they got me. All right, so I gotta go and eat here. But so what I want to do, instead of doing this default plot green, we're going to say on the first, before it checks if 1 or 2 or 3 are met. If one of those are met, it's going to exit out of it. So the last condition that we really needed was condition 4, says that all 3 are true. So we're going to plot 4, and we're going to say we're going to plot we'll plot the high, and then we'll say that all conditions met. And then we'll make this one, let's make it green. It'll take the spot of the other green. Did we get rid of this one down here? All right, that. Okay, so I'm not seeing any greens pop up. So with all these specific conditions here, I don't see that you're having I don't see that you're having all 4 of them being met at one time. Not with the inputs the way that I have here. Okay, so let's try NVIDIA. Nope. Add ES. Add NQ. Apple. Let's go down to a lower time frame. Wow. Well, but there again, that's not going to work because we're talking high of day. Yeah. And this is showing up blue because we didn't do high of day here, we just did high. So if we had high of day here, then we could still get this on the lower time frame. So yeah, we got to go back to the drawing board to see how we can make this work to be intraday. And yeah, but I'm not seeing anything pop up here. So let me go have a little bit of dinner, recharge the brain juices, and then we'll see what we got. I'll be back. All right, here we go. So we're back at it. Excuse me. Yeah. So in order to make this work for the smaller time frame, I see he just asked me whether or not we can make this work on the intraday, and I was like, yeah, of course. But of course, it won't work on the intraday. I mean, it'll work on the intraday, but you'll get essentially what we just got. Whereas if you're on the intraday, it will give you the same result for the day. Right? No? All right, let's see. Let's see here. High of day. So we have to change all this. We just, instead of using the high of day, we just use the high and the low and the close. We wouldn't need to do the yeah. They just need to be of a bar ago. So this would be the current high. This would be the high of 2 bars ago. So it'll be in square brackets. This would be the high of 1 bar ago. 1 damn bar ago. Yeah, well. Alright. That. There's that. That. And that. That. And now up here we have to do, yeah, that's fine because that's already the high. It's not the high of the day. Boom. That should work. Oh. Get rid of the D. Get rid of the D. Alright. Alright. There we go. That red condition pops up a lot. Ooh, there we have a blue condition. But I don't feel like that's right. Oh yeah. Because the blue condition is saying that this one happened a bar ago. And it's saying that we had a condition 3. No, that's not right. Because condition 3 condition 3 is the high equals the highest bar of the length that we're looking at. That's the max high length that we're looking at. Oh, well, we did start 1 back. Okay. No, we didn't actually. On my other script, I started 1 bar back. On this one, I didn't. So, condition 3 would be saying that from 0 to bars ago, we're taking a max lift, taking the max, which is the high of the index, versus the max and we're going from 0 to bars ago. As long as bars ago isn't 0, you know what? Length of condition 3. Oh, it's saying 50. Let's look at the edit studies. Yeah, it's showing 50. Okay. Length of condition 3. So why would this be showing up blue, folks? We know that we're getting the blacks because we have a high much higher than the bars before it. We're getting the reds because we have a small bottom tail, essentially. But the blues we should only be getting if we're getting all 3 things to be true. The black, the red, and the... Oh, wait a minute. Condition 1 is blue. Condition... Okay, so the condition where all of them met is green. Okay. So the blue just says that we have a high spike. And again, we can't have a high spike unless we have a low that's lower than the spike. Okay, all right. And again, I see that ZRIP just put on there, he thought it was a good idea also to do the conditions, to plot them along the way so that you can see and make sure that you do have the right conditions being met prior to looking for the final one being met. So on here, like I said, we probably don't even have the red being met because this has a larger bottom tail, but we definitely don't have the black on this one. You know what? I don't know that you can have them all being met at the same time. Only because now I'll do one caveat for you. You can plot once you get this higher high here, once you get this spike here, you don't know that this is a spike until this bar has been printed. And if this bar is lower and it's printed lower, then you know that this was a spike. But if you have this high one right here and then all of a sudden your next bar is up here, then well, that wasn't the top of a spike, was it? So once you get this second bar here printed and it's printed lower, then you know that this one is a spike. But we put our show me on this bar, but we're really saying that this bar was the spike bar. So what you could do, and the red showed up, but the black may have also showed up if it were allowed to show up, but because the red showed up probably first. Yeah, see, the red shows up first, condition 2, and then the black shows up, right? So if we take this out, mute that out, let's see, does this turn black? Yes, it turns black. So this condition is both red and black, right? So now all we need for it to do is effectively also be blue. And it is blue because blue was met here, it was just shown here. So we need to say, we need to say if condition, this blue one, if condition 1 of a bar ago was met. Condition 4. What is condition 4? Oh, well. We haven't really defined what condition 4 is either, though. I mean, so then that's the other piece. All right, so we'll do that, but I still think condition 4 won't show up unless we say that condition 1 of a bar ago is true. So we'll have to say if condition, so condition 4 equals condition 1 and condition 2 and condition 3 and condition 3. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. All right, hit verify there. Okay, so now you see that turn back to red because the red is superimposed over the black just because of the plot numbers, the way that they go. All right, and then also because of the case switch, which it got to first. So now we say if condition 1 of a bar ago, right? This condition 1 of a bar ago. Bam. Okay. Condition 1 of a bar ago. No, not condition 1 of a bar ago. We have to say once we get condition 1 to be met, because we are looking at these. We're looking at what happens on every bar. But we can't look into the future. So once we get on this bar, now, especially if we get a blue one, now we look back and we see if that's been met for all 3 of those. Then it's go time. So we'll have to say if condition 1 I wonder if I can do it here. Case 1. Condition 1. Condition 1, we will do a begin. So first, we'll check to see if condition 2 and 3 are met a bar ago. If they are, then we will plot 4. If they're not, then we'll just plot 1. So if condition 1 and condition it's not 1, condition 2 and 3, 2 of a bar ago, then condition 3 of a bar ago, and condition 2 of a bar ago, then plot 4 high, all conditions met, green, else plot your regular old low 1. So we can get this one out of here. Did I not put a something? All right. Begin. Oh, I didn't put an end. Boom. All right, and so this green is fine here, but you're like, ah, man, the green is down there. I think the green should be up here. So let's plot the green up there. So we're going to plot 4 of a bar ago, and we're going to plot the high of a bar ago. And that'll put that green up top. All right. Boom. Okay, so we only got one showing up on Apple through here. This is the 5-minute time frame, and we should be able to do just similar for the daily time frame. Nothing popped up there though, and you see where we got that that spike before. Nothing popped up there on the daily time frame. Let's see what happens on the 1-minute time frame. And it's hard to look through this. I can make a script. We could put it in the radar screen. Maybe I'll do that. How long? An hour on here right now. Not bad, but we could put it on the radar screen, and we could print how many times it's found to be true. So let's do this, and we'll say that so if this happens, then we begin then we're going to plot 4, else we're going to end. So we're going to do two things. If all those are met, then we're going to begin count spike plus equal to 1, plot, then end. Did it like that? I don't think it liked that. But we definitely needed to count spike. Start off at 0. Yeah, I didn't like that. End. Else. Okay, and then if last bar on the chart, then print count spike. Okay, go over here. Open up your print log. That says 0. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame. All right, so you see on the 5-minute time frame we did get 1. Okay, we go to NVIDIA. Nope. At NQ. Nope. All right, so let's see if we can make this easier. Did we make this available for radar screen? Applications, radar screen, yes we did. Okay, so we don't need to plot all of these. The only thing that we need to plot is the count spike. So I wonder, there ought to be some way that I can find out what application I'm in. If I'm in radar screen, or if I'm in Oh yeah. I tell you, I like programming, man. I like it. I like it a lot. Identifies calling application, so returns. So if application type, so if we're in radar screen, and I think I can make this a lot more complicated, but I'm not going to right now. But so C would be C would be trying to just make sense of why it would start with C. Maybe C could stand for, it wouldn't stand for chart. C chart, C, I don't know what C would stand for. Calling application. I defined as calling application. So call chart, call radar screen, call option station, call scanner, call portfolio. So I just need C chart, and call radar screen. I mean, that's what I primarily use. AI application. AI app info application type. Okay. Just trying to commit it to memory. Okay, so we're going to say we can leave this. Yeah, I could probably spend another 30-40 minutes with this and get it really right, but because this is not my script and this is not my baby, and I'm just kind of doing this and learning and everything, I'm not going to put as much time into it. But we'll say, so we do want to plot we want to print the count spike, and then if get app info application app info AI application type equals C. I think I had numbers behind it, but so I don't know if I think it wants me to put 1 for chart and 2 for radar screen instead of writing it out. 1 for chart, 2 for radar screen. If it's application, if it's radar screen info type equals 2, then plot 5 is going to be count spike. Okay, verify that. Shouldn't be any issues. All right, so and printing is fine. We don't necessarily need to print here though. Okay, so all these plots, well, these plots, they show up here. Okay, so all we have to do is just say, all right, if get app info, get app info equals AI application type of equals, what was it, chart was 1, if it equals 1, then we're going to do that. Else we're going to do nothing. So I don't need an else. So I'll just do this, copy this, paste this, space this, and space that. If that, then begin dot. All right. And condition of 2. Then we're going to do all that. This is the only one that I'm interested in. I'm only interested in this condition 1 being. I'm only interested in this condition 1 being met, and then also showing that condition 2 and 3 were met on the prior bar. So if condition 1, for condition 1, if get app info puts us at a chart, then we can plot it. Else we're going to print else if get app info AI application type equals 2, which is radar screen, then print count spike. I lied before when I said that my typing didn't need any work. It needs work. I just get ahead of myself. Come on, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? All right, count spike. Boom. Okay, so now that we're on the chart, we still get the stuff to show up. But then if we move over to the radar screen, which let's do that now. Boom, 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 boom. All right. This is what do we do? App, radar screen. Again, I don't do a lot with radar screen, so this is me being adventurous. Apple, Nvidia, Tesla. I don't know, how can we pull up a whole just bunch of symbols from a sector? Well. That was quick. That was easy. All right. Well, let's see how quickly it can go through this. And I think it just pulls up a certain number of stocks. I don't think it pulls them up all. Did it pull them all up? The entire S&P? No. That's 500? Really? Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this. I think it was Discord ZRIP. And this could kind of be cool, so we'll see. This was a show me. It's been a little slow though, because it's you know, dealing with all this data. Zero, we put it right up there. Hit OK. All right. It is still pulling up all the conditions. Condition 1, 2, 3. Conditions met. And then plot 5. Wow. All right, so this is on 5-minute time frame. It's got zeros for all these. Now we know that what it was at Apple on the 5-minute time frame did have something to show up, right? So, so Apple, I think it was, did have on the last bar. Oh, we need to do this on last bar. If last bar on chart, well, we didn't need to do last bar on chart because it will plot on every single bar and it will be the same count spike. It'll, you know, because count spike just continues to increase. So so that should be fine. All right, but we're getting zeros on everything. All right, so on Apple, let's take it off, add it back. Okay, you didn't print for me. Let's go verify. Okay, so we got ones here. You know what? I think it printed zeros for all these other ones as well on radar screen. But we did get a 1 for Apple for the 5-minute time frame. So how come radar screen isn't catching Apple here? Or I imagine that Apple is further up. I imagine Apple is on the S&P. Yeah, there it is. So it didn't catch it there either. So let's just go to the settings, edit Discord, for all the symbols. Input 2, 10, 50. We're not messing with any of that. That's fine. All those are fine. Yep. Man, it would have been cool if I could have just had figured out this radar screen without even trying. Okay, so but now again, why did condition 1, 2, and 3 why did these show up? Why did these even show up as a column? Okay, con 1. What is con 1? I'm trying to figure out why these columns showed up at all. All conditions met. Oh, because these were the plots. But again, I said, if you are of application type 1, then don't even send anything to radar screen. I think it's still getting ready though. All right, so if it's the chart. And I'm not even so much worried about this. I'm more so worried about the fact that it didn't capture our account spike. So how can I check that? Let me put some glasses on here. Oh, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. It's actually not bad for. I mean, they're polarized, so it looks a little weird. Yeah, that won't work. Come on, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right. If condition 1 is get app info, that's going to be chart type 1, then okay. Then begin if condition and else. Oh. No, condition. We don't need this at all, actually. Well, we do need it to count the spike. That's all we need it for. And else. We don't need it to print anything. Else and else if we're on a radar screen, then count spike plus equals 1. And the only reason why I was doing it like this is because I thought that if I were to use the get app info AI application type, that it would not plot these condition 1s here. But I believe I can go in here and just say don't show these. Matter of fact, I'm sure I can. I played with radar screen recently, so I know it'll handle those things. All right, so we hit that, and it still didn't work. But like I said, I should be able to go in here and do studies and show hide plots. We're going to hide the 1, 2, 3 condition met. Just leave that. Okay. But again, Apple should be showing up for the 5-minute time frame with
sentiment growing
values. 5-minute time frame with 1 populated right there. The radar screen has been throwing me for a loop here recently, though. I I'll tell you what, since it just does plots anyway, why not let's just get rid of this. Sentiment growing. Let's get rid of this. Let's at least mute it out for the time being. All right, mute that out. If the first if then sentiment growing begin then begin end, and there's our second end, so we're going to get rid of this. Don't worry, I'll organize it here in a second. Nope, looks like I'm about to be organizing it now. Alright, there we go. Alright, still didn't show up. Alright, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to play with this for a little bit so I can save your time of me just kind of going through this thing. Alright. So hang on. Okay, so I think I've come a long ways on this, but I think I came up with something, and I'm not really excited about it. All right, so what I did was I used a variable. I called it count B. Started off at 0, and then I came down here and I said on every bar we're going to count B plus equal to 1. Okay, and then we're going to do a plot 6, and we're going to return what count B is. Verify that. Come up here, you get plot 6. It all says 1. So again, I'm new to radar screen, but I don't understand how it works, because to me this is saying that radar screen is only showing value, showing information from the very last bar. So hang on, there is one other thing. Somebody posted a comment on the forums, and I made a post about it, but I think that there's probably more information that was to be had. Yep, let's see, what did John say with TradeStation? Nope, he didn't. He just kind of said something else. Man, is that how radar screen works? Well, that's really unhelpful. That's really unhelpful. Okay, all right. So we're gonna pump the brakes on radar screen. We're just gonna keep moving forward with the indicator that we have as it is. I'll just clean it up a little bit, and then I'll see if I can't get something to work with radar screen later. But yeah, I need to learn a little bit more about radar screen, because apparently it is very limited. Now with Thinkorswim, it's like radar screen is not limited at all. So this is a little bit concerning. Either that, like I said, or I just don't know how to use it, which, you know, both of those things could be true. So I'm not going to get excited too quick that it's a failure. There's still potential. Alright, just making sure everything looks good. Extra spaces removed. I'm going to leave this how it is for the time being, because I think I may want to come back to it if this radar screen situation becomes clearer. I think I want to come back to it and modify this some more. yes, oh yes. Do 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 do. So we can get these two out of here. They're irrelevant. We can get print spike out. Well, print spike will be good though. Because it'll let you know. I tell you what we'll do. So that you don't have to run a print statement every time. And every time you run, like I found out that Tesla has one too. But what I'll do is I'll put if last bar on chart and print spike is greater than 0, then we're going to plot. If last bar on chart EX and count spike is greater than 0, then plot 6. We'll say low, or we'll say the high, then we'll say all conditions met. Did we do high, all conditions met, and then we're going to do it green. That way, well, that can be a little confusing. So watch this. Because like I said, the Apple does have one, right? No, Tesla has one. Apple has one, right? NVIDIA, I don't think had one. Nope. Microsoft, yeah, apparently Microsoft has one as well. See, this is all a 5-minute time frame. So this green just lets you know that there's one on the chart, and you could do that. There's one right here, right? So you could do that. And the only reason why I'd say you might not want that is because then you could be confused and you'd think that this is actually a new one showing up. So I wouldn't leave it like that. I would make this something else. Make it say something. Let's say value 1 equals text new low. I think it's just low, and then we'll say let's just put the number for the count spike. So count spike is the number. We need it to be a string, so we do num to string, and then we'll do the number and decimal places, 0 decimal places, and close that. Let's get rid of some of those semicolons. All right, I feel like we needed a few more inputs here. Date, time, and then the price. Date, time. Date, time, price, and what you wanted to say. DT. All right, right there. All right, so on this chart, you got one that showed up. All right, on Apple, you got one that showed up. Okay, and of course, you could modify that to say one spike. All right, so one limited string plus space spike. That. Okay. One spike. Tesla. One spike. NVIDIA. Nothing. Okay. So we'll leave it at that. Clean up the rest of this. Like I said, once we can get sorted out the whole radar screen, I'd like to see this also used on radar screen. Just because I want to. All right. All right, if you have any conditions, it's 8:19. If you have any questions about this or any comments, concerns, be sure to leave them in the comments. If you want me to try anything else, and this was just a request from somebody in the Discord, right? So if you want me to try to make anything else, I'd be more than willing to. Again, I think a lot of the value is in kind of talking about it, hearing the thought process, seeing the changes, that kind of thing. If you just want to see somebody write it out, then it looks like they do a pretty good job over on TradeStation forums. If you want something written out, that the programmers, they will just write it out for you, but they won't. It's not a tutorial. They won't kind of take your hand and walk you through and step by step, and they don't do that. They just will type it up and send it to you. So I mean, that's definitely a good reference, especially if you want to see something. If you want to see something, and then you're kind of good enough that you can go back through and use that to work backwards and find out what you could do wrong, what you could do better, where you're having issues. So anyways, just use all the resources that you have. There are several. Okay. All right, guys. I am Eric. I am out. Peace. Okay, so it turns out I actually was able to get this thing figured out, and I made the video, but obviously I didn't have the audio going, so I'll just have to narrate it, just kind of do a voiceover. So essentially, there was a video that I was able to go to under Markplex, and he gave me just kind of an idea that I could revisit. It's something that I looked at earlier with trying to figure it out myself, which was the number of additional bars to add, right? And so once I changed the number of additional bars to add to the chart, I was able to actually get the values to show up. You see that there, additional bars to load. I got it set at 2,000 and it did show up. I'm not sure what I had it set at initially, because I know I tried changing that and it didn't give me the values that I was looking for. But however, it works now. So you can see out of all these tickers on the S&P 500, there are multiple symbols that actually did have at least one of those conditions to show up over the course of the length of the range for the radar screen. So I'm just getting rid of a little bit of coding here because I don't need the plot 7. All I need is it to show spike, and then when it shows spike, I can go and I can check out the script. And what you can do is you can also put an alert beside that spike, and if the alert alerts you from the radar screen, then you'll know that that condition happened, right? So whatever you want to do with it, if you want to take it as a reversal, if you want to wait till it retests that area, then you know you have some options there. But yeah, I was excited that I was able to kind of figure that out. So we've just made those changes there. And obviously I'm still talking. So I'll fast forward through the rest, and hope you guys enjoyed this. All right, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.